I stayed in a relationship that was slowly killing me, not because I was weak, but because I believed I didn't deserve better. I thought love was supposed to hurt. I thought the pain was normal, that it was just part of being in love. I was wrong. This is the story of how I escaped a toxic relationship and found myself again. If you've ever felt trapped in a relationship, if you've ever questioned your worth, or if you've ever felt like you're losing yourself to someone else's demands, this is for you. It started like any other relationship, full of love, laughter, and promises. He was charming, attentive, and made me feel like I was the only person in the world. We'd spend hours talking, dreaming about the future and laughing until our stomachs hurt. I thought I had found my person. But slowly, things began to change. The compliments turned into criticisms. "You're so beautiful" became, "Why don't you dress better?" The support turned into control. "I'm here for you" became, "You don't need anyone else but me." And the love? It felt more like a prison. But I stayed because I thought it was my fault. I thought if I just tried harder, loved more, or changed myself, things would get better. I started walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do the wrong thing. I stopped spending time with my friends because he didn't like them. I gave up hobbies I loved because he said they were a waste of time. I even started to believe the things he said about me, that I was too sensitive, too needy, too much. I felt like I was disappearing piece by piece, but I didn't know how to stop it. I kept telling myself, this is just how relationships are. You have to compromise. You have to sacrifice. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The breaking point came one night after a particularly brutal fight. He said things that cut deeper than any words ever had. He told me I was lucky to have him, that no one would ever want me. And for the first time, I saw the truth. This wasn't love. It was control. It was manipulation. And it was destroying me. That night, I made a decision. I didn't know where I was going or how I'd survive, but I knew I had to leave. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the bravest. Leaving was just the first step. The real challenge was rebuilding my life. I had to unlearn everything I'd been told, that I was worthless, that I couldn't survive without him, that no one else would ever love me. It wasn't easy. There were days when I doubted myself, when I wondered if I'd made a mistake. But I started therapy, and for the first time, I talked about what I'd been through. I surrounded myself with people who truly cared about me, friends who reminded me of who I was before the relationship, family who loved me unconditionally. Slowly, I began to heal. I started to rediscover things I loved, the hobbies I'd given up, the dreams I'd put on hold. I learned to set boundaries, to say no without feeling guilty, to put myself first without apologizing. It wasn't a linear process. There were setbacks, moments of fear, and times when I felt like I was back at square one. But every small step reminded me of my worth. Every day I grew a little stronger, a little more confident, a little more like myself again. If you're in a toxic relationship, please know this: you are not alone. You are not to blame. Love should never hurt. It should never make you feel small or unworthy. You deserve respect, kindness, and freedom. You deserve to be with someone who lifts you up, not tears you down. Leaving was the hardest thing I ever did, but it was also the best decision of my life. I found myself again, and I'm stronger than I ever thought possible. If this story resonated with you, please know that help is out there. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or a professional. You don't have to go through this alone. There are people who care about you, who will listen without judgment, who will help you find your way out. And if you're watching this and you're not in a toxic relationship but know someone who might be, check on them. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can save a life. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And remember, you are worthy of love and respect. Always.